Ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday night on Nerd Initiative. You know what that means. It's time for TV talk. Tonight, Who in Review? We're talking about Dot and Bubble. Play the intro. And welcome back to Doctor Who in Review. My name is Off the Cuff Tom, Nerd Initiative's Pop Culture Connoisseur. Now, this is finally the first time I've ever played it right. I had the intro, and it was due to this guy down here, Mr. CELLPHONE-WALLET-KEYS, Mickey Smith. Everybody say hello to Mickey, and Mickey say hello to everybody.
What's up, guys? Just stopping in to talk some Who, and man, that intro was pretty cool. Yeah,
the guy who made that just did such an amazing job. I'm just going to keep stroking his ego as much as possible as we're doing this. So we're talking Doctor Who, and Mickey has the pleasure of being my first companion on here. And the best part is I've shanghaied everybody that if they do this episode, they all have to come back for the finale. So
it's fair.
Yeah, it's in their contract. Kind of like coming at you live and direct, but that's on a different show. But long story short, we're talking Doctor Who. We got Dot and Bubble. It was a very interesting episode. It was episode 5-ish, I guess you can call it, if you count the special in there. Now, since we only have a few certain episodes this season, it was a very different take on an episode. I like it when they get a little artsy, but we're going to talk about it in just a second. So, spoiler-free, Mickey, what did you think about this?
Spoiler-free, this episode was heavy, man. Like, I didn't know, when I picked episodes, you put the list up, I was like, Dot and Bubble, that sounds kind of like, that should be light and fun and airy. No. I got the most dense subject matter here. But the episode was great. I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of themes, a lot of themes going on, a lot of commentary, social commentary, and
sci-fi is social commentary.
It was heavy there, and there was like It was like 4 or 5 things happening at one time here. They were trying to tell us. I had a lot of fun. Again, it's another episode where it's not really Doctor and companion heavy. Like, we either see an episode with like one of them or neither of them, or like this didn't have a whole lot of them in it, but it was good though. I liked it. It felt like a good contained story that had some pretty good messages. So I enjoyed it.
I gotta say, at the same time, I enjoyed the episode, but there are definitely more flaws that I found with it. I'm not saying it was a bad episode at all, but there's something about it that just didn't sit right with me.
I can see that.
So if we take a look over here, first screen side we got here is we meet this nice young lady, right? She wakes up, and just like everybody in the whole wide world, what do?
Yeah.
Okay. That is the Dot and Bubble of it all. Literally, everybody has this floating little AI marble floating around them, and they just have a massive social media feed going on. I was like, okay, we're just going to throw the gauntlet down and say, yeah, we're too stuck on screens. What did you think about that? That's the first theme I got out of it.
Oh yeah, it was definitely okay. As I'm holding my phone, like, I get it. I see what we're doing here. I see what you're trying to say to me. Okay. I'm always stuck on my phone, not paying attention to what's going on around me, and oversaturated with content, basically.
Now, interestingly enough, though, this wasn't along the lines of, say, a normal Facebook feed or whatnot. It was just big, huge chatter of everybody and their brother just talking all at once, and you could pick and choose who you were talking to.
I find social media exhausting already, and I was just like, how in the world?
We do this
everyone
for a living.
Talking at one time in a bubble around me, I would like lose my mind.
Mm-hmm. So as we go on, we find out, that the best part is as she's walking and so enamored in her screen, right? It teaches them to walk. It has, I guess, GPS perception that you can find out if something's in your way, so you don't whack into something. I thought that was funny, and the best part is that it becomes a plot point,
Yeah.
a sad plot point, but nevertheless a plot point. So that was kind of fun. And then she went and got dressed, and she's like, "So yeah, I'm wearing this from this and that from that, and look at these people. Like seriously, we're gonna have a little Prada. This is so vintage." I was like, "Okay, so is this the idea of reality versus uh, your online persona?" I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of sad that this is literally a walking version of it. I believe. I think.
But it's almost like they have to live in it all the time too, because this thing is
Hmm.
always on, right? There is no, well, for some there is a outside, but it just seems like, yeah, it just seems like you're always plugged in. You always have to put on that mask, where I guess it becomes them eventually, or does it? I don't know. Maybe they're hiding something else, right?
This is true. One of the other friends or social media acquaintances says, "Oh, have you seen such and such?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, apparently not. If they're asking."
And my
Um,
my wife brought up a really good uh, thought during all of this going on. She's like, none of these people are really that attractive, or like they seem to be like, I don't know, like maybe it's so much that they become unattractive. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you mean like, what do you mean? How are you? I just had a lift. Hi.
yeah, they're very fake. That's probably, you know what? That's uncanny valley effect is happening right here. I think that's what it is. Like,
Oh well, even better. You wouldn't be surprised if what's her name, the flab of skin
oh,
from grew up around
Gordon
these
Green.
folks. Yes, I feel marvelous. I feel on the planet with everyone. Yes. Oh, that face is the ugly son of a gun. Yes, hello.
Uh,
So as the story goes on, she decides to go to work, and mind you, we're still noticing that there were some people missing. And also, as we're walking down the street, GPS or .ps, we'll call it, had her move around, and we saw a pair of feet. Okay. But again, everybody's so enamored with what's going on screen, they have no idea what's going on right in front of them, literally.
Now, at this point, I think before she went to work, didn't the doctor try to talk to her?
Yes. So the doctor did actually try to talk to Lindy Pepperbean, now that I think about it, in the world of Fine Time. That's where
Yeah.
they live at. And she's like, "Wait, stop. There's something going on." And then she swiped left, right? Is that what the kids do? They swipe left?
Yeah. And by the way, to add to the whole thing, they also live in a dome.
Yeah, it's very, very much,
Everything's confined in perfect environment.
it's anti-Fallout. It's
There
not,
you go.
"Hello, how are we
There you
doing
go.
for America?" It's the other way around. It's, "Oh my God, seriously." That's a great analogy. I
Yeah.
like that. So we keep going, and she gets to work, and finally, Ruby Tuesday, I mean Sunday, she pops up, and because she's a lot better looking than the doctor, sometimes she pays attention to her, and she's like, "Well, hi, we're from Health and Safety, and we want to make sure you're doing okay, and blah blah blah. Can you take a look and see if your other associates are there in the office?" "Oh my God, seriously, I gotta like work 2 hours the whole day, and I just don't want to."
That blew my mind. 2 hours. Get out. Like,
2 hours. Wouldn't that be nice?
this whole scene, I was just getting madder and madder and madder. I was like, I don't like any of these people.
Nope. And I think that was the point. Like,
Yeah.
you want to feel bad for the person that's in the moment, but at the same time, like, you are just a sad individual.
Yes. Spoiled. Terrible person.
Very much. And everybody's, so she finally peeks through, and I think I got that set up as the next one. Well, there's the doctor and Ruby Tuesday trying to talk her out of it. Ruby finally gets her to peek through while she's at work. Look at that, whole 2 hours a day. And what does she see? There's a creature, and there's nobody else in the office. It's a very interesting looking creature. It's kind of, what did you think it was?
So, like, my first thought was slug or snail,
Mhm.
because that's just kind of the way how it was made, except for its front half is kind of lifted up, and it's, yeah, I would be like that. That's probably what horror looks like right there. I'm not gonna say I was like super scared of it because it was kind of cute, but like the inside of it was pretty gruesome.
Yeah. I honestly, when I first thought of it, since you said it was kind of cute, was what was the name of that caterpillar character from A Bug's Life?
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like it's the evil version. It's the mirror universe.
yeah, exactly. Now, I was like, oh, that's cute, except for like the half a person hanging out of the front of it.
Mm-hmm. So she finally gets scared, and Ruby tells her to turn her bubble off and walk to the elevator.
She can't do it.
She can't do it because, like we said, because of .ps, they don't know how to walk apparently without staring at a screen.
That's crazy to me. That kind of blew my mind that you can't just walk forward. You've been walking. I mean, you know how to walk.
But think about it this way: they're hardwired for whatever spatial awareness they have with that,
Right.
bubble around their head. So again, that's just playing back to the get your face out of a screen.
Yeah. And also
so
kind of like that they don't know what to do without someone telling them what to do, like
yes,
that's another thing that comes up. We're going to talk about like kind of like taking responsibility for yourself and not depending on the older generation to do it for you. That's something else kind of comes up later.
Oh, mummy. So she finally gets out, and Ruby tells her that there is a spot where she can get escape from, and the whole time she's just trying to stay in a good mindset, and she's listening. She's singing back to herself songs from Ricky September, who apparently is the superstar of Fine Time. Super what? I don't know. Not my cup of tea. But teach their own.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, she gets out on the street. She starts seeing the creatures. One of them starts to attack her. Now, mind you, these are slug creatures, so they're extremely slow. So what's interesting is that, one theory came up that, are the GPSs drawing them right into the slug creatures? Or are they just lucking out? We really didn't get a resolution to that. So, but Ricky September shows up and says, no, walk this way, walk that way. I'll be your guide. This is, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I was like, okay, cool. And then he says he turns off the dot and bubble. He's a rebel.
Yeah.
He's a rebel. He's a rock star.
He's like the guy with all the followers, though. Like, everybody loves him. But yet this guy finds time to do things outside of the bubble.
Yeah, maybe because he's wearing an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini. I don't know. Daddy wore for the first time today. Which I thought was a fun cover. Anybody who knows me, I love covers.
Yeah.
Hence the theme song. Hence the beginning of the intro.
This is the beginning of them doing, in my opinion, doing everything they can to make you like this guy.
Yes, very much. We finally have a hero, somebody that's not deplorable.
Love this guy. Please just love this guy. We're gonna make him perfect for you.
Mm-hmm. So as they keep going on, he knows exactly where this causeway or way is to get out, and they start going out. And the doctor and Ruby kind of figure out at the fact that how are the slugs taking people out? Ladies and gentlemen, anybody who has a Z to start their last name, you win. You go last. You have an A, you're screwed. So as this goes, I die before Mickey does. C is for cookie, and that's good enough for me.
So before this, they're going down a whole lot of stairs to get to this safe room, or to the doorway where they need to go. And I was like, man, she's doing pretty good on them stairs and not know how to walk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like all of a sudden, like just because she got a little pitter patter in her chest, maybe a little adrenaline going. Well, Ricky September, hey, how about we make Donna October? Let's work together.
And we also get a small revelation before they go down those stairs that their homeworld is gone. Like it's been destroyed by these things already.
We do, but it's when they're in the little room before the dot goes crazy.
Because she's trying to call home to her mummy, right?
Hey, mommy.
And Ricky's like, I'll try to call home and get the, I guess, cops, I don't know, military or whoever to come and help us.
Yep.
And when he pulls it up, I mean, their place is like destroyed, and he sees those monsters kind of there too. And then he turns it off immediately and is like, It's okay. They're coming. It's all good. Like, he doesn't tell her what's happening.
And the fun thing is that, this is when we finally see Susan Twist again for this episode. And seeing her in this capacity completely screws up my theory from last week. Thank you very much. Totally annihilates my theory, thinking that she was, part of the patriarch.
Pantheon.
Yeah, the Pantheon. Thank you. Sorry, I'm down with the patriarchy. That she's part of the Pantheon, and this like completely mucks it up because she would at least, or the character would at least interact with the Doctor in some way or be in the general area. This time she wasn't.
True.
So,
but he totally noticed her though. Like, he was like, "Who was that? Like, hold on, I've seen that lady before."
Yeah, she was the thing, and that's a good thing. But again, there was no direct correlation.
Yeah.
So talking about the dots after, Ricky September figures out that Homeworld is dead and gone, still covered in these slugs. What's her name that I just completely forgot? Because I don't even want to remember her name. She's that much of a pain in my ass.
It's about Lindy?
Yeah. Lindy Pepperbean.
Pepperbean.
Yeah. Lindy Pepperbean. Yeah. So of the Newport Pepperbeans, yes. Lindy Pepperbean is such a fan that she actually knows Ricky September's real name, not his nom de plume, and says, "Oh, his name starts with a C." Shit.
That's after this dot had become self-aware about. Well, they were already kind of self-aware.
They were questioning it,
and this thing like goes red, like, and tries to kill her.
So instead, she says, "No, there's a target." So as she's trying to get the door open, Dot goes. Which I was very surprised to see that.
Dude.
Like a full hole in the headshot on Disney.
Yeah.
Like that could have been one of those, like, Bluey, we can't talk about certain things, but Doctor Who put a hole in someone's head. Sure.
This is the point where it was kind of two twists here, because up to this point they had made you do everything, had done everything to make you like Ricky or whatever his name was, right?
Yep, look at that.
So in my mind, knowing how these things go, I'm like, oh, at some point this guy's going to do something bad, like, because they're making us like him too much, right?
Yeah.
And then, you feel so bad for her because she's so helpless. She's not. Once the chance comes for her to be like, not me, him, and she takes it, and he gets splattered, and she gets away scot-free, and I'm like, that was when I was like, oh my God, what just happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it only gets heavier from there, folks. Let's keep going.
It gets worse. It's heavier's not put. No, it gets worse.
Yeah.
So Lindy Pepperbean, yes, because you got to say it in the long tooth. Lindy Pepperbean. Lindy Pepperbean finally meets up after having Ricky September.
Yeah.
Finally meets up with the Doctor and Ruby Sunday, at the evacuation point, and
she sees one of her friends.
Yeah, she sees one of her friends, like in real life. Don't know, how to do actual social interaction.
It's awkward.
Which again is a direct correlation to the world as it is nowadays. And we'll talk about that. Yes, we're going to talk some heavy stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
And this is the point where I feel really bad because I didn't notice it, but my wife did, and she's like, "You noticed that you haven't seen anyone other than white people yet?" And I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, you're right."
Yeah, there was a lot less pigmentation,
and they're all like, they're not all blonde, but they are all like
cookie
white.
Cutter,
very white.
Yeah, they're all of a very specific, let's just say like 1%er.
Yeah.
Kind of idea. That's why I'm talking like this. Yeah, Shloy. Yeah, it's the very Thurston Howell III, junior for today's generation.
Yes.
Yes, Lovey. So Lovey and Muffin over here decide that we're going to take the boat, take the yacht out, and go and become this new generation to live out here on this particular planet.
These people with no survival skills are about to be pioneers.
Yep. Gosh, I can't Google how to start a fire, but I'll see what I can do. Yeah. And then at this point, Mickey said it best when we were talking about this before we did this tonight. I will let you take it away because this the way you put it to me in our personal chat literally was just, yep. So do you think I'm gonna sit
Okay.
there and just listen.
I got you. Okay. So again, as I said before, at this point, the realization was we haven't seen anyone non-white, like highfalutin high society white. And these people with no survival skills are gonna go out and survive in the wilderness. Pioneers, right?
Mhm.
They're excited about it too. And the doctor's like, look, you guys are gonna die out there. Like, you don't have any way of surviving. Come with me. I have a ship that can take us anywhere, anytime, right? I get guaranteed to take you to safety, all of you, because it's much bigger on the inside. Look at that blue box, much bigger on the inside. They decline. They're like, nah, we're gonna go do this. And he keeps reiterating, I'm serious. Like, you guys are really, you're not gonna make it out there. I can help you. Please come with me. And eventually one of them says it. We're not gonna do anything with people like you. And two things become very apparent really quick, that these people are extremely racist and extremely classist, right? Because even Ruby, who is white, but they can tell she's not like them, like she's a poor. They don't want anything to do with her, and they really don't want anything to do with the doctor because of his skin color. So they're willing to go die with no skills at all. And the doctor, knowing this, he has complete shock on his face, and my heart is breaking at this point from this.
Ditto.
And he still says, I don't care. I will take you to safety. I don't care what you think about me. After this is done, you can have nothing else to do with me. It's fine. But I just want to save you. And they still insisted, nah, we're not going anywhere with someone like you. Just go back to your own kind, and stuff like that. Like, it was like really bad stuff. And he was getting visibly upset, like, please let me help you. Like, he was crying and he was getting upset. Please, I don't want you to die. Under no circumstances. No matter what you think, I don't want you to die. And they eventually just finally, dude, take a hike. We're not going with you. And he's just, it was really good acting of him, just like this tears rolling down his face and like breathing heavy. And then he just like, he lets out this primal like yell, and
Perfect word.
he's so upset. And even in the face of all that, he still wanted to help them. And like I told you, early in most Doctor series, usually the first or second episode, but we had to get to like the fifth. He's had some good moments, but there is a moment where I say to myself, there's the Doctor, there's that guy, or there's that person, right? There they are right there. That I just, oh man, he's so selfless and he wants to help everyone. And like, usually he loses a lot of times, or like things don't go his way. And yet it's just something there, like just the honorable side of the Doctor, this like hope side, this loving side is all there. And yet he still has to be this broken person. I was like, there's the Doctor.
Yeah, it really is the Doctor defining moment.
And even Ruby is crying and she's like, let's just go. Like, you can't help them. And like, man, you could see it in his eyes. It was great acting. All right. You could see it in his eyes. I was like goosebumps, trying not to get upset. I was like, dude, this is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be quite honest. I was kind of glad that this was one of those few episodes my wife and I didn't watch together, because I probably would have been blubbering. But because she wasn't there to keep me saying, I was pissed. I was furious.
And that's the feeling, right? Like, you're mad and you're sad. And I was like, that's how he feels too. He's mad and he's sad, like, because he doesn't want those people to die, and he's sad that they feel that way about him because he doesn't mean them any harm, right?
No, not at all.
And there's just layer upon layer upon layer of social commentary in that one scene, right? Like, oh man. It's heavy. It's heavy. Like I said,
it's really heavy. Now, at the end of the episode, the Doctor just went back in the TARDIS, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a cold close. Like, you can't. There was no, okay, we're off to do this next, or blah. It was. Blah.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, so having that, it was it. Now let's talk about our thoughts and theories about this. Now, because it was dot and bubble and everybody's looking at screens, I figured I'd take a picture of an old TV screen and use that. So first and foremost, let's talk about who is Mummy, Penny Pepperbean. You know,
Who is she?
who is she? Like Penny Pepperbean. Like I said, I just do not know who this person is. I have tried so hard to figure out, and come up with my theories. I got nothing this week. We do appreciate the fact that both Ruby and the doctor said, "Oh, well, that looks like the Villain Guard ambulance," or "Where have I seen her before?"
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. That was great. We're finally getting something out of it. What did you think about that, man?
I mean, again, like, especially in this role, I was like, man, I don't know. Like, of course, I liked your theory on the Pantheon thing. And then I was like, well, maybe she's just like a echo across time and space. But we've seen that before, I think, with a few people.
Clara,
Clara,
especially.
yeah, Clara was a big one. And now I'm like, she just has to have some connection to Ruby in my mind. Like, it has. I'm not gonna say it's her mother, but like, there's got to be something there. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like she's connected to Ruby, not the doctor, because she's always on screen somehow. Like,
yeah,
except for in this episode, not really, but I don't know.
Yeah, she's a part of the story, and is she integral? I just don't know.
Right.
And then we got to think about it. Sorry, trying to type here and talk at the same time. It's kind of hard. Then the next one is we're talking about who was the bad guy for this episode.
Oh man.
Was there really a bad guy? Because if you think about it,
who
was the bad guy?
You want to say, part of me wants to say, oh man, I gotta say Lindy, but but it's all of them really, all the ones that were like that. But also the dot itself, they were saying the AI became self-aware, is what the doctor said.
Now this is where I find massive plot holes in
it. Yeah.
If the dot became self-aware, that's great, but how the heck did all the slug creatures get to Homeworld and then to Find Time?
Well, now that's something, because he says so he's just spouting off theories, and I don't know if what he's saying is like true, right? But he says they're grown, something grew them, something made them. So like, are we supposed to believe that the dot AI made these creatures and then sent them all over? Like, are they conquering the universe or the galaxy or something? I don't know. But man, yeah, I think there's a lot of bad guys in this one. I don't know if there's one thing or person we can point to be that's the villain or whatever.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's, if you're on Reddit, everyone's the asshole.
Right.
If you follow that subreddit, that's exactly what it is. And then one other thing that got me, and not a lot of people knew this unless you were like following Russell T Davies. If you can take a look all the way down there, this was a scrapped story.
Yeah, I didn't know this.
Yeah, so this apparently was a Matt Smith story. And
would have changed quite a bit at the end there.
Thank you. Like, how the hell do you write this? It's like, oh, we don't follow tall, really good-looking, pointy chin British men. Oh, sorry, fuck you. You have a bow tie.
I feel like he would have fit in perfectly in that society. Like, they would have been like, we love this guy.
Like, I just don't get it. Like, was this because of, hey, we hired him in the writer's strike and let's pull something out of our, out of the files?
Yeah.
I like the fact that the contrast of the episode, like we had all this, okay, you don't know what you're doing because you're an idiot. And then we had this hard heel turn.
Yeah.
Is the only thing that really made up for the episode. Because honestly, the first 90% of it I could have done without. But we'll get to that. Now, having that said, like, is there anything that you really enjoyed about this episode?
Really enjoyed about this episode?
Really enjoyed about this episode. Aside from Shooting Gap was acting. I got that one already.
That was a big one. I said it before, and I think I'll say it again. It's the layers, like the thematic layers that just built like this, just really like, I don't want to say it's like a, intricate or complicated story. It's not. It's very simple, but there was just so much going on and so many feelings and commentaries that I don't know. Like I found myself just constantly thinking throughout the episode, like thinking about personal things, like holy smokes, like do I do that, or like is this where we're headed, like the human race? You know what I'm saying? Uh, it was a lot of that. It was the thematic writing, the just these issues that they were bringing up that I was like, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, it very much turned the mirror back on ourselves. And in
yeah.
fact, a lot of people are even saying that this episode was very Black Mirror-esque.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say that earlier, like totally Black Mirror. I was like, this could have been a Black Mirror episode
Yeah.
easily.
I mean, even still, you just heard the background with a twist, little robot chicken. So let's get down to it. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, we have a very unique rating system. Now, most people do things 1 out of 10. We do ours 1 out of 15 because there are 15 doctors. So, Mickey, what was your score on this particular episode?
Because it made me feel so many things emotionally and like, just reflecting, I gave it a 13 out of 15. It brought up a lot of good discussions, I think, for us to talk about in society. I mean, like several that are already on the table, but like to see them here in play, it was gripping. And then I'm going to tell you, those last like 15 minutes made it to 13 out of 15. Like you said, I could have cared less about. I like the first half, but again, it was that second half that just shot it up the scale for me with that tremendous acting performance. And yeah, I walked away from it almost in disbelief. So
Yeah, I was probably definitely in a state of shock after watching it myself. Now, everybody hold your sonic screwdrivers. It's time for my rating. I gave this whole episode an 8 out of 15 doctors. Okay? Now, mind you, I picked cool, sexy Fox TV movie doctor, not Dr. Heal Thyself, because I'm tired and sullen and ready to turn into the war doctor. I picked 8 because, yes, it is, like I said, but knowing the fact that this is after the fact, that this was a recycled story,
mm-hmm.
and that the lack of Dr. Ruby,
Mm-hmm.
and it just didn't do it for me. The end of the episode is exactly, that's why we got sexy 8th Doctor.
That's right.
So again, that's really where I sit on this. I hope, like, I want to see where this is going. Again, we still have no idea where this series is going. Like, what is going on? There was no snow. There was nothing.
There's no overarching like string right now. It's just kind of
dropped right in the middle
by episode. But there are little things here and there dropping, but there's nothing looming over top, I guess, to make us.
There's not like a huge crack in the wall or the screen or whatnot. We know how to look for those things. This one, I don't know if they're just really trying to low key throw it in with Susan Twist, or.
And we haven't seen any of the like traditional Doctor like baddies yet, like Cybermen, Daleks, Angels, none of that. Like, I don't know if that's intentional or if that's something they're saving in their back pocket for later. I don't know.
I think what they want, and that's a really good idea to bring up. I really think that because they're really trying to revamp the whole series, and we're only getting 8 episodes technically for this season, because it's Doctor Who and production values, and God knows we don't want to spend money. We want to make it, but we don't want to spend it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see them at all this whole season. Let the new Doctor stand on his own 2 feet before we bring up all the old stuff, because it's like me. It's like Power Rangers. You do anything in Mighty Morphin, you make money. You do something out of Mighty Morphin, you don't make money.
That's true.
It just comes down to the almighty dollar. Yeah. And then because this is Disney and because we're talking about Dot and Bubble, just make sure, remember, this episode is brought to you by and Large. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You can have everything shoved in your face too. Absolutely. I just think this is literally the vibe I got from the whole episode until the big turn at the end.
It's wild to me, since you showed me this and I've had time to think about it. Why aren't these people more like overweight? They need something to help them, tell them how to walk. They can't exercise. They can't, like, they don't do manual labor. They just sit at a desk all day. Why aren't they fat? Why are they beautiful and skinny?
Because mommy could pay for the lipo pill or whatever, or maybe there's little adipose that poop off in the middle of the night. I don't know.
There's some technology keeping them beautiful. I don't know what it is.
Seriously.
Because they should look like that.
Right? Anyhow, what did everybody else out there think? Make sure to let us know in the chat. And we definitely want to hear from you.
Yes.
And while we're at it, it's time to do the homework, time to got to pay the bills. So, as always, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, smack it. Let us all know that you want us to do what we're doing. All right? Ding the thing, ring the bell. And then when you're done, tap that thumbs up, because we want to know that you want to see more TV talk here on Nerd Initiative. Matter of fact, join us on all of our socials. Follow us. Let us know what's going on. The best thing is that make sure you follow us on, where is it? That's the subscribe. They just changed everything, so I got to find it. You can check out our QR codes, because here at Nerd Initiative, we love our QR codes. Of course, you're going to make sure that you hit that. And then on top of it, you're going to check out the website. And then tomorrow night, you'll see me back on here for Turn a Page with a good old editor-in-chief, Mr. Canham. He and I are going to be talking to Alan Dunford. Ooh, and again, all those new comic reviews are coming out on Wednesday. We also got The Road to Deadpool is coming out. Oh, yeah. And then on Thursday, we've got Wrestling Like Live dropping in from the top rope. It's fantastic. And then what else we got? We've got on Fridays, we got fandoms. We've got all kinds of stuff. Like, we literally are out there everywhere on the social media. But speaking of all the social stuff, Mickey, why don't you tell them where we can find you at?
You can find me TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook, Cell Phone Wallet Keys, or Mickey CWK Smith. But I think they're all, if you search at Cell Phone Wallet Keys, you'll find me. Also, again, Nerd Initiative here every Wednesday, comic book reviews. I'm on that. Apparently, sometimes I'll show up on fandoms, and I'm doing the Road to Deadpool and Wolverine every Wednesday night as well.
Yes. There is so much stuff going on here at Nerd Initiative. Nikki, I can't thank you how much for taking the time out to hang out with me here and be my first companion on Doctor Who in review. It is an absolute pleasure. And to everybody else out there, as I always like to say, be excellent to each other, and I'll catch you next week.